Hope you had a great week. So last week we had a pretty volatile week, but in the bigger scheme of things, right? Not much has changed from our original plan. I'm still looking for that final pop, right? At least in this section of the rally to kind of then create a top before we kind of have a broader pullback, right? At least to the bottom of this channel. You can see we have pretty much been going up and down within this larger channel structure. So I am thinking any pop, right, that we have could end up being a false breakout that again results to the downside. I mean, again, not to mention, we know how overbought, right, the market is getting. So that is something you have to keep into perspective. And we also know that, there has been no change in character. So till you see that move higher, the market likely, still has a little bit more room to the upside because, the basic uptrend hasn't even broken, right? You can see if I draw like a trend line, right, from the bottom of this, let's say bottom of May, right, when we started to rally. So you can see this trend line pretty much been holding a support. Again, you can see here is kind of why we bounced on Friday, right? Because we just moved into support and we moved higher. So, I mean, at the very minimum, right, if you are bearish or you want a short, right, wait for the market to break 452. If it can break 452, then we can start a larger leg down to 435, 430, right? Otherwise, personally, I personally think that over 458, 462, 464, even 467 may be possible. But yeah, I do think that this rally will eventually find a top. But something to keep in mind is, QQQ, I mean, not QQQ, the broader market, right? July is usually the most bullish month. And as soon as July is done, August is not as bullish, but it's still moderately on the bullish side, right? But you do start to tend to see weakness, coming into the market before the bigger downfall in September. So, yeah, just something to keep a note on. I think at this stage of the market, it's better to play the trend, right? The trend is to the upside, but to size small because of how extended we are getting. But yeah, bigger picture, no changes. Still looking for that pop and then the drop. Same for QQQ, right? QQQ, unlike SPY, hasn't even made the high. Kind of posted this on Twitter, kind of spoke about kind of the ending diagonal forming. But yeah, I could see that final pop, right? And QQQ hasn't, broken over the channel, so finally popped the channel and then probably, come down to like 360, 350. So yeah, bigger picture is still what I see. IWM, we know that it has broken out, it is consolidating, and we knew 1899, right? 199 was the major resistance. So now if it can break 199, then next target would be about 205, 206 on IWM. Still up here strong. Dollar, right? It just bounced off the bottom of this channel. So it will be interesting to kind of see whether, we reject off of this and come lower for equities to bounce, or whether, if dollar can break over 102, then, doesn't really have resistance till the top of this channel, which then could, pressure equities and the yields, they did kind of pop off on the Japan news. But again, this is the level, right? We've been talking about how 4% is major resistance. If it can't break, if it rejects again, it very likely, comes down to 3.23. Even TLT, it's still within the larger channel. It hasn't broken down, right? As long as it stays within this, it's still at, risk for further upside, which again means he'll probably break down, right? At 4%, kind of 4.05, right? Let's say 4.05, kind of the key line between whether this, right, is a breakout that continues higher or whether this is just a move into supply and gets rejected. And that again would kind of play a key role in how much you're going to rally, right? Because weakness in yields definitely would kind of propel the market higher. So maybe, we push more than this expected. But yeah, a lot of factors to kind of keep in mind, right? Even Wix, we know bigger picture, it has broken a long-term channel. It's still due for more weakness. So yeah, a lot of factors in play here, which is why, I can't say for a fact where we're gonna top. I can just tell you that, like we are getting pretty extended. So yeah, still this is the plan, right? Let's see how we progress through the week, and if I still see 4 more upside, then I'll update on Twitter. But yeah, for now, I'm just kind of sticking with this. Same on Qs, right? Same on IWM, etc. With that being said, let's kind of look at this week's watch list. The first one I have is Disney. Again, right, we are just kind of going sideways, kind of just flirting with the breakdown, which is why I think this will probably end up being a giant bear trap, right? And Disney does have a gap to fill till at 100. So I do think we progress towards 100 in the next couple of weeks. So that's why I have Disney on this week's watch list. The next one I have is Meta. Again, the reason for that is I go to the weekly chart of Meta. I want to point out that you can see that we've rallied, right, almost to the 0.886 fib. So that's kind of where, if we are bullish, I would kind of expect, right, a rally into that fib level at 330, 333, right, before we reject. We are getting pretty overextended. I'm sure people have been saying that for a while now, but you can kind of see it on the RSI. So it's just a matter of time before Meta snaps, right? So, I mean, I think it's a decent risk to reward to try a short in the supply zone, right? And probably have like a stop $5 higher. So yeah, that's kind of what I have. The next one I have is DDOG. Again, DDOG, you can see that we've broken out of this downtrend, right? Just kind of consolidating, kind of going sideways. I do think that it could, kind of move higher, right? Over 112, we can go up to 115 and probably 118. Another good one, right, would be Snow. Again, you can see we are kind of just rejecting supply. So it's only a matter of time, right, before we break over 180, 183, right? You break over 180, 183, Snow can push higher. All right. The last one I have is Oracle. So the reason I have Oracle on this exercise is just think that it may, right, could potentially fill its gap lower. I mean, it is just sideways and a pennant, right? So, I mean, either these are kind of your trigger levels, right? If it can break over 118, it, will probably push up to 125. And this is your lower trigger level, right? Right now, we're kind of just sideways in this channel. So if it can break below 115, 114.8, then again, we do know that it has this earnings gap, right, that remains unfilled. So just kind of looking to see if we break down, that we could potentially come down to fill that gap. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.